Hello, and welcome to the Three Questions Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of wealth management and connect you with industry experts. I'm your host, Wayne Baxter, Senior Executive Manager with One Capital Management. Now, if you or someone close to you would like to learn more about achieving a better work-life balance, you're not going to want to miss today's episode. We're going to address the three questions you should ask about work-life balance. Thank you for taking time to check us out. And if you enjoy this episode of the Three Questions Podcast, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Our special guest is Chris King. He is a facilitator, coach, speaker, and owner and founder of Playa del Rey's California-based Status Flow. And what Chris does is he takes individuals and organizations beyond their perceived limits, enabling them to a realization that seems to be impossible. And he's an author too. His first book is called Renegotiate Your Existence, Unlock Your Impossible Life. And that book is available on Amazon. Mr. King, great to see you. Thank you for taking time to join us today.
Mr. Baxter, my pleasure. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Now I know that the audience is really eager here to learn, from you with your years of experience in coaching individuals and businesses and groups, how these people, they want to achieve big things, but they seem to be stuck. So we're going to talk today about that. But I got a question. I just was thinking about this when we were getting ready here. Now, I had a little bird to tell me. Now, I'm a Canadian as well. And
yes, I do. Yeah.
Chronically, not acutely, chronically obsessed with hockey. Did you play college hockey?
As a matter of fact, I did. I played Division II. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And where was this at?
It was a small club team at a junior college in Southern California.
There you go.
I was 21 years old, and I decided that I wanted to be on the team, and there were only two things standing in my way.
Number one, and skates.
Number one, I was failing out of my junior college, and number two, I had never skated before a day in my life.
That's classic.
Yeah, but fast forward.
Does that mean that did you end up with goalie pads on really quick?
No, I played left wing and center. 18 months after I made the decision that I wanted to play, I was leading that team into the state championships. I was fourth in goals and first in assists.
That is amazing. And why am I not surprised?
We got destroyed, by the way, in state championships.
But you got there.
But we got there.
Man, I'll say this, it's now about 12 years since I moved here. And one of the first things that really amazed me was how entrenched hockey is into at least certain pockets of California culture. It's not a passing thing. There's my son played hockey out in Oxnard, and I could not believe the level of talent with some of the kids out there. It was like for real serious. So
it's pretty impressive.
Anyway, I had to bring that up.
Well, you've done your research.
I did I had to ask anyway. Okay, so before we get to our three questions that you should ask about work-life balance, I really would like for our audience to know more about your company Status Flow. What led you to, and also what led you to becoming choosing to become an executive coach. So maybe you can just give the audience a little bit of background on the company and on how you ended up doing what you're doing now.
Well, yeah, I mentioned the hockey story, and I have a few stories like that in my life where I made the seemingly impossible happen. What I later learned, I started, I did my education in spiritual psychology. I worked in the Neuroscience Institute of a hospital for a while. And I started training with organizations like the Flow Research Collective, the Flow Genome Project, collaborating with them. I still to this day train with retired Navy SEALs and Army Special Forces because they're all about mindset and, making impossible things happen. And one day I had an opportunity. It was, I had just gotten fired from a job. I came up in marketing and tech, and I'd gotten fired. And this was 10 years ago now. And my options were accept a job offer to learn how to become a commercial real estate broker, or build this company that later became known as Status Flow. The trick though, the snag in this is that I didn't have a physical address at the time. I was living out of my car and I was broke. So instead of taking the paycheck, I said, sure, you know what? I've been hungry before. I can be hungry again. I'm going to build a company. And that's what I did.
Amazing. And why am I not surprised again? But I'll tell you this: if you would have chosen to be a commercial real estate broker, you would have been in the top 20% of the top 20%. My guess,
Well, thank you.
based on what I
Yeah.
know about you, I'm pretty confident I can say that right now.
Well, thank you. And I'll
Not the
tell you
top
what, Wayne.
20%, the top 20% of the top 20%.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate your faith in me. But I tell you what, here's what I knew, and the reason that I made the decision that I did, because I knew I'd be successful. Because of all the dumb bets I've ever made, the best ones turned out to be on me. And I thought I'm going to be successful in a job that will be okay. It'll be fine, but I'm going to end up married to a lifestyle that I now have to support with this job, and I'm going to be trapped again, and I'm not going to do that.
I'm gonna go way off script here for a second, and I'm gonna share an interesting story. I look at you, quite frankly, I would define you as an overachiever, and I say that as a compliment. And one of the things that I discovered, and Chris and I are both members of an organization that's now become a across the U.S. organization called Provisors. It's an amazing organization. It's been one of the best things that ever happened to me was joining that organization of professionals that we all try to support and help each other. And these are highly skilled, highly educated, very talented folks. And we meet all the time. We meet in boardrooms across Southern California and across the United States. And I probably put a lot of those members on pedestals, rightly or wrongly. And we had one of our meetings. We actually was kind of these folks had to talk about a challenging experience that basically they had to go through as a child or in their younger life. It was amazing how many of these overachievers had to really have challenging times in their lives before they became successes. It was obviously when you meet with these people, you hear about all their attributes and how skilled and intelligent and successful they are. But the high percentage of those folks that were had very difficult childhoods, to put it mildly, and overcame incredible obstacles to become successful. It's to me, there's something to that, Chris, and how it's amazing that these overachievers, they didn't have a silver spoon. They didn't have things handed to them. They actually had to go through some challenges to get where they are.
Well, struggle and progress are in relationship. You really don't get progress without the struggle, and the bigger the struggle, the more energy there is for alchemy, where you can leverage it. Even working with clients now, we end up dealing with a lot of challenges and issues and friction and whatever. And I said, this is a great opportunity, right? Because I mean, as you know, for example, fortunes are made in down economies, right?
Yes,
So
100%.
so what I tell clients is like, look, you don't have to like this in order to make it work for you. We got to figure out what's the leverage point. If we can get out of how much we don't like it quickly, it'll have an effect on our neurochemistry, our psychology, and this is how we're actually going to make it work for us.
I find the irony of just this whole exercise is that, our whole society is about how with our children, I have two adult children now, basically everything seems to be focused on how to help them avoid the pain that we went through to get to where we are. And it's, maybe there's a message there and a lesson that maybe helicoptering over our kids all the time isn't always the best move.
It's not always the best move, in my opinion, right?
Yes. All right.
Challenges make us stronger. Challenges are to the mind what working out is to the body. Makes us stronger, makes us smarter, faster,
what
better.
Doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right, Chris?
Right. Well, as long as you don't get too bitter or surly about it, right?
Yeah, fair.
Depends on how you relate to it.
All right. So today's topic, 3 questions you should ask about work-life balance. Now, when Chris and I were coming up with the content for our program today, we hashed over a few ideas and we decided to stop, because my intention, Chris, is to have you as coming back at least 2-3 times, at least during the year. So this is kind of the 35,000 foot view discussion today. So the challenge, as I see it, with establishing a work-life balance, and this is from personal experience, this is very complex because it involves a combination of societal, organizational, and personal factors. There are several key reasons, again, based on my experience, why people find it difficult to achieve a healthy work-life balance, and that includes increased work demands, there's economic pressure, there's workplace culture, there's personal ambition, something I'm very familiar with, and societal expectation. There's changing family dynamics. And on top of that, there is a lack of a support system. And, especially with high performers, a lot of them are control freaks, do-it-yourselfers. They don't like everything is fine. I'm good. And, they don't like to say, I could use a hand here. Mm-hmm. So the goal today is to help you move closer to achieving some kind of work-life balance, because the assumption here is it's going to make you happier. So our first question here today, Chris, for you is very simply put, what is work-life balance?
Anybody that just heard that question is going to have an answer, and you're going to be thinking in terms of numbers, dollars per hour or time in the week. And I didn't come up with this answer until about 2 minutes ago, as you were talking. Work-life balance is the end result of your values and how you prioritize them.
So for everybody, it's a different answer. There's no one definitive answer, because everybody could have a different perspective.
Sure. And I think, if you're working 80 hours a week, if you're working 20 hours a week, and it depends on, what's your income or whatever, it really is this delicate balancing act in your own world, and recognizing what the right combination is to have the life that you're looking for. Like, think of your life or your business as a biosphere, right? The earth is a biosphere. We need a certain amount of nitrogen, a certain amount of water, a certain amount of oxygen. These are not equal parts, right? We need the right temperature. Everything has to be perfectly balanced in order to sustain life as we know it. Your life, your business, your entire universe is the exact same way. So the question is, what are those elements, and what's the balance for you to have the sphere that you're looking for?
Okay, so asking for a friend. Suppose that my friend said to you, you know what, I really love my career, I love my job, and I could see myself working until I'm 75 years old, just because I love what I do so much. Okay. And I'm prepared to do that, and I'll be able to, around that, be able to take the time I want to enjoy the other things in life, travel, time with families, whatever it is may be. Mm-hmm. The next person may say, you know what, I cannot wait to retire. As soon as I hit 65, or my natural retirement age, according to when I'm going to start collecting Social Security, or for my friends up in Canada, the Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security, I'm out. Is either one of those scenarios right or wrong?
No, it's completely subjective, right? Like, I look at my brother-in-law. He's been in tech. He's been selling. He's had 2 jobs, I think. I've known this man since I was 15 years old. Okay, he's been in my life forever. I can name 2 jobs that he's had. He sold unfinished furniture, and then he sold printers. And this is his life. He sells printers, and it provides him the income and the lifestyle that he wants with my sister and their house and the kids. And he's not a live to work kind of guy. He's a work to live kind of guy. He's not begging for retirement, nor is he, I'm going to work forever, right? So that's what works really well for him. Other people, like, you get cats like me, I'm going to die on a stage somewhere. It's going to be horrific for the audience, but it's going to be awesome for me, because I'm not retiring. Like, it's not happening.
So here's the thing about that scenario that I gave you. Both of them applied to me. So the first one was when I was living in Canada.
Okay.
And then when I moved down to California and started working down here, my whole perspective of the world changed. Now, part of it is climate related, of course, but sure. Also the whole business that I've developed and the relationships that I've fostered here since I moved to Southern California. I can't imagine wanting to retire from what I'm doing. I'm having too much fun, and I'm too happy doing what I'm doing. So
and if that's working,
the irony
for you,
it's ironic that it's a same person, 2 different points of view.
Right. And as long as that's working for you and for your family, and that your biosphere is healthy, great.
There's another party in this discussion who is questioning the age 75 part, but we're trying to we're trying to work something out on that. But yeah, so the answer has always been, when are you going to retire? And it's 10 years, 10 more years.
Okay.
So now I've concluded 75 looks like a good time at least for now. We'll see.
Nice.
But and I'll be right. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be on a stage with you, but we'll be together going down the road here, my friend.
Love it.
Okay, so question number 2 on how to achieve a better work-life balance. Question number 2 is, how do I develop a more balanced work-life schedule? Now, I can't wait to hear your response to that one.
Well, the first thing you're going to need to do is specifically look at what that is. Like, you need to define that. What does work-life balance really mean? And not in terms of just the physical world reality, the blocking and tackling of, I've got this much income, I'm working this many hours or whatever. It's, how do I feel? How am I experiencing the life that I'm in right now? And is that the experience I want to have? Right? So it's getting that baseline of understanding, okay, if work-life balance is the end result of your values and how you prioritize them, how am I prioritizing them? All right, well, let's take a look, because a lot of times in our minds, we think we know what our values are, but this gets real simple real quick. Look at your bank statement, look at your calendar. That will tell you what you value, period, end of story.
Well said. And, to me, there is, to sort of circle back to the, the space that I play in, which is wealth management. You can, to me, a lot of the conversations I have, even though we deal with dollars and cents, is qualitative. The most important questions we ask above and beyond the quantitative ones are, what do you want to do? I intentionally tell my clients, I don't want you to think about the cost of these, whatever it is. I don't want you to think about any of that. I want you to tell me what it is you want to do, what's important to you, and then we'll figure out the math from there.
I think that's brilliant. That's a great way to look at it.
Because people automatically, I can't do that because they automatically turn their calculator on, right? I don't have, I can't make that happen. And in some instances, you're right, you can't. But the idea is to understand what it is that you want to do, and then, work from that. And then we work on the other aspects, and we can find out, what are the things we can do to make this come together as close as we can.
Yeah, the first 3 questions generally that I'll ask clients. Question number 1 is, what do you want? Question number 2 is, what do you really want? Question number 3 is, what do you really want? Because the answer to the first 2 is going to be based on what they have or what they think is possible. I'm not interested in what's possible. I'm interested in what you want.
Right. And, and another one, not that I'm trying to outsmart you here or anything, Chris, but a really close friend of mine, this is applied to me, by the way, just so to be clear, this goes back, 20 some odd years ago. And he said to me, Wayne, there's a big difference between can't and won't. Right?
Yeah, it's very true. I actually don't believe in the word can't so much.
Yes,
it really
exactly
is
right. That's exactly his point. That was his point. So there's certain words I try to avoid from my vocabulary, and and can't is one of them. The other one is should. That one to me is close to a profanity as I can think of with it.
Well, what we do say that with our clients is that if they're shooting all over the place, right?
Right. So, okay. So great job on question number 2. I think we provided some clarity there. So question number 3, again, this is all related to achieving a better work-life balance. Other than the obvious, what are some of the benefits related to creating a better work-life balance? Again, off the beaten trail here, Chris.
Yeah, the canned responses are going to talk about, you have more free time, or you can go on vacation or whatever. Maybe somebody will say, you've got better emotional regulation or something. But one of my teachers, he said something that I thought was kind of funny at first, but I paused and I heard the echo of it, and it was really quite profound. His name is Dr. Robert Holden. And what he said was, if there's something missing from your life, it's probably you. Now that really hit me. At first I was like, huh? and then, oh, wait a minute. And it went a lot deeper. And I'm reminded of the Mark Twain quote. That's the two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. And if you're not living that why, well, maybe consider making some changes, making some pivots, right? Because I don't think anybody was born just to work hard, pay taxes, and die. I mean, and if that's all you want to do, okay, cool. That's totally up to you. And
we are living in the land of opportunity here. So, I mean, there's no such thing as can't.
Right. You can do anything. Look, I live in a town where people pay $30 for avocado toast. Okay. Nothing is crazier than that. If they can do that, you can do anything.
Yeah, Chris. It's too funny. I remember the first time I visited Southern California, and this is back in 2004. Actually, it was in 2007. I came with my family, and we're in Santa Monica, staying at a hotel there, and I was shocked. I think breakfast cost a family of $400. This is back in and like now I would be like, you're lucky you got off the hook with two people, but
right.
And there was no avocado toast, as I recall, at the time.
Right.
Anyway, not for the two I was feeding, that's for sure.
Right.
Anyway, well, listen, Chris. Before we wrap up this episode, I need to ask, because I'm expecting, clients of mine or folks that are listening in from across the United States and Canada, because this is going across the entire continent and across Canada, by email, by podcast, by Zoom, or by YouTube. Now, I guess I should just point out here, you're not limited geographically, because most of your consulting is done. It isn't in person, correct? You do online, Zoom.
Right. Yeah.
You have clients across the country, right? You can work.
Yeah, our entire team works. Everything is done online. I may do a speaking engagement, fly to Chicago or something, but yeah, the work is done online.
So if I have clients up in Toronto or Vancouver or my home province of Nova Scotia, they can connect with you. And
absolutely,
just warn you, Nova Scotia is 4 hours later than you, so connect on that one. But aside from that, I would imagine you'll be having people reach out to you. So what is the best way? Like, if somebody wants to reach out to Chris and to your Status Flow team, what's the best way?
Yeah, go to our website, statusflow.net. That's statusflow.net. You can see the programs, you can meet the team, see everything we've got going on. You can check out our podcast. We have our own podcast as well, where we're doing coaching sessions one-on-one. So everything is there, statusflow.net.
Perfect. Chris King is the owner and founder of Playa del Rey, California-based Status Flow. Again, Chris takes individuals and organizations beyond their perceived limits, enabling them to realize the seemingly impossible. And I encourage you to check out his book. It's called Renegotiate Your Existence, Unlock Your Impossible Life. And this is available on Amazon. Chris, thank you so much. And I can't wait to have you back again real soon. Take care.
My pleasure, Wayne. Thank you.
I look forward to bringing you the 3 Questions podcast, and I hope you find them educational and informative. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. And to receive notification when our latest podcast has been posted, please click on the notifications bell. Lastly, to schedule an online Zoom consultation with me to discuss your wealth management needs, please click on the link in the description box below, www.onecapital.com/meet with Wayne. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.